How many times have you tried to start a habit, but it doesn't stick? Maybe it works for the first week or two, but after that it just falls apart? Well, you may be riding what I call the habit roller coaster. See if this sounds familiar. Something in my life motivates me to start my habit. Maybe I'm getting stressed out and I decide to start meditating. Maybe I'm feeling a bit lazy and I decide to start working out or eating better. It takes time and effort to start the habit, but eventually I start to get consistent and I feel the benefits of that habit. Whatever was bumming me out seems to get farther and farther away. So in the meditation example, I started to meditate because I was feeling stressed. But once I start meditating, that negative feeling goes away. And since that feeling is what I use to get started, my habit starts to suffer. I stop investing my time and effort into the rewards that the habit brings. I kind of take it for granted. I coast for a bit, and then I slowly ride the habit roller coaster back down the hill. And as I'm riding down, the benefits of my habit gradually slip away, whether I notice it or not. If it's meditation I'm losing, perhaps I start worrying about something in the distant future again. Or if it's working out, perhaps I start to feel lazy and sluggish. Whatever it is, I've ended up back at the bottom of the roller coaster. Once I hang out there long enough, those negative feelings will return. And once they build up enough, I'll use them to get back on the roller coaster all over again. Now, maybe this sounds familiar, and you've taken some rides in the habit roller coaster yourself. Personally, I've spent years of my life on this wild ride, which is why I was amazed to find a strategy on how to get off in Chapter 1 of Atomic Habits. The author, James Clear, puts it quite plainly. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than your current results. In other words, focus on the direction you're going, rather than wherever you happen to find yourself at any time. Life isn't always consistent. Some days you'll be down low, some days you'll be riding high. Maybe one day you're riding high and you think, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good today. I think I'm going to skip out on my habit just for today. That's where the trouble begins. Instead, maybe your attitude can be, look, I started this habit and I made a commitment to myself to work on this every day. Even though I feel like I don't need it today, I'm going to do it anyway. That way, when the hard days come around, I'll still have the rhythm of completing my habit. The analogy I really like for this is a hike. The very first step to any hike is making sure you're picking the right path, meaning you start your habit with intention. Once you get going, just focus on taking consistent steps, even if they're small at first. If you're constantly looking up from the path to check your map and ask, are we there yet? You're not focusing on doing the work, and the hike is going to feel like it's taking forever. Keep your head down and focus on consistent effort, one step after another, and trust that the results will come. Soon enough, you'll look up and you've made it to the top of the mountain. The habit roller coaster is about getting swept around by momentum, whereas on this habit hike, you're in control. Another amazing tidbit from Atomic Habits that supports this is that your outcomes or results are a lagging measure of your habits. Meaning, don't focus on your results. Don't be discouraged if you're not at the top of the mountain yet. That's the output, but focus on the input. Focus on making your habits strong and trust that the outcome will arrive in due time. Don't focus on whether you're strong enough or not. Just focus on going to the gym consistently and trust that the results will come. Which comes back to the point I made earlier about negativity. The fatal flaw that creates the entire habit roller coaster pattern is that you're motivating yourself by using the negativity of not being strong enough, zen enough, or whatever enough. We don't like how that negativity feels, so we push away from it and use that for momentum. It doesn't take long to escape that negativity. But now, there's no longer something to push off of, and you come crashing back down. What if instead of being repulsed by negativity, we were drawn towards positivity instead? Instead of having brief pushes up and down the habit roller coaster, maybe you feel yourself drawn towards the summit on your habit hike, and you use that to fuel your consistency. It's the difference between trying to jump off the ground over and over versus using a ladder. You can even focus on your desire to continuously improve yourself for the benefit of not just you, but those around you. A person that's put in the effort to become more fit, more calm, more wise, is not only more effective at running their own life, but also able to help others around them. Now, let's turn this concept on its head for a second. What if the habit roller coaster isn't all that bad? While you may think of it as an up and down that brings you back to the same place each time, in reality, each time you take a ride, you're probably ending up a bit better off than you were when you started. For nearly any habit, when you pick it back up again, it'll be a bit easier to get into since you already know the basics, and you have some muscle memory. Those benefits compound each time you try your habit, and if you zoom out, you'll notice there's a huge difference compared to where you were at the very beginning. Now, a key aspect of this journey is to not be too hard on yourself and to give yourself credit for the progress that you're making. Now, even if your progress isn't a straight line that only goes up, because the truth is that no one's line looks like that. No one's journey looks like that. Even if we're off the habit roller coaster and on our little habit hike, we all have moments where we slip or stumble. Maybe we stop paying attention and misstep, or maybe it was no fault of our own. Once you fall down, you use that strong habit you formed to get back up and keep making progress. Otherwise, you risk tumbling way down the mountain. And, don't sweat riding the habit roller coaster too much. Even if you apply the stuff we talked about in this video, it's still reasonable to assume that you'll have ups and downs as you pick up new habits. After all, humans are naturally cyclical creatures, and striving for absolute perfection probably does more harm than good, and isn't sustainable unless you're a drill sergeant or you live with one. What we're after isn't necessarily eliminating these cycles altogether, but reducing their size. That way, you're riding this kind of roller coaster and enjoying the ups and downs, instead of riding this and wanting to throw up. There's a whole lot more to this concept, but I wanted to keep this video somewhat short. But I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jason. Each week, I talk about a new topic on this journey of self-improvement and crafting a better life, in the hopes that some of you will join me on that journey. If that's something that interests you, you can consider subscribing, but no pressure at all. If you like this video, you may enjoy this one as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.